excited today to be sharing with you my drinks through the day segment. So I thought this is a bit of something different that you might not be doing with your Thermomix already. And if you are, I'd love to hear your tips and things as well. So share them along the way. If you're watching the replay, make sure you share them with your consultant if you've got some great tips about these drinks. So we're going to get started by making some milks first of all. So you may or may not drink dairy, but if you do, you might want to incorporate some non-dairy milks into your diet, and that can be done really simply with your Thermomix. So we're going to start with an oat milk, and then we're going to do a almond milk. And the reason I'm doing it that way is if you had any allergies in your house, you could do your oat milk first, not worry about washing the bowl, and then do your almond milk if you've got a nut allergy as an example. So that's why I've chosen it to do it this order. So I've got all my recipes in my week, so we've done our meal plan for the day. You'll also notice you probably can't see it, but there is sticky date pudding in there today as well because it's my husband's birthday, so we'll be having that later for dessert. The kids have already made that this morning.
Yum.
I know, so yum. Now, I have done the 2 key steps for both recipes before we jumped on, and that is soaking them. The almonds are supposed to soak overnight, and that is to get rid of the, is it phytols? I can't think of the actual exact word, from the outside to make the nutrients more absorbable in your body. And I'm not exactly sure why we soak the oats, but you soak them for 30 to 60 minutes beforehand. So we'll get going. It says there to put the simmering basket on, put your oats in, and then put them in the under the water and rinse it out. The next thing is then set them aside, like I said. Then using the simmering basket, drain them, which I have done. Water to remove any starchy residue, done. And now we're up to this step. So let me just make that back to 0. So all we need to do now is add some water. It's asking for 700 grams and it wants filtered water. We have a water filter at home, but if you don't have one, you can use normal tap water. But it just doesn't have, it has different properties in it. Oops. Many people believe that filtering gets rid of some of the nasties that you can find in non-filtered water. We drink a combination of both in our house. We got the filtered tap put in when we renovated, but my kids often use the regular tap to get their water. So whatever works for you. Then we're going to get our oats in, like that. Next, 2 pitted dates. I have those here. Here we are. So they are just your dried pitted dates. You could use any type of date you like. They're going to add a little bit of sweetness to the milk. All right, measuring cup and lid goes on. Next. Now we're going to blend it now. So just bear with me a moment. It is going to get, obviously the noise because it's going to be going around the bowl. So to speed 4 and then gradually up to 9. Now, I don't know whether you could hear that or not. Something you should do is check that your dates actually have the pips out, because I am guessing that one of my dates in here still had the pip in. I could hear it rattling around in there. All right, so our next step is to use a nut milk bag and strain the mixture into a large jug. So I have this little jug here. Hopefully I have enough room in it. And we're just going to strain the milk, hold the bag. You can get the bags from the mix shop if you don't have one. You can get them at other places as well. But so make sure you're holding the bag so it's not going to fall into the vessel that you're putting it into. And then pour the milk through what you're going to be doing is straining this liquid from the pulp. So you can see the last bits there where the dates going in. Yeah, like that. Oh, that's in my way. So now all I'm going to do is grab the bag and lift it out of the liquid and then slowly squeeze, oops, keeping it in the vessel, slowly squeeze the liquid out of the bag, leaving the pulp in the bag.
You use the pulps for things like bliss balls and stuff, Hannah? Like,
We do. I've just noticed, I think I have a hole in this bag because most of my...
oh no.
That's all right. I think that oat's fine. So the oat doesn't leave a lot of pulp because it blends it up.
Oh yeah. Not like almonds.
Hey, Narelle. So then I'm going to, so I actually keep this. So I've got this bowl here in front to remind me to tip that pulp out there, and I could use it for something else because I'm going to use this same bag to do the almond milk in a second. I'm just going to rinse that off a little bit.
Love that. There's no waste. Get to just use everything.
Yeah. And the other thing I do with my nut milk bag as well, you'll notice there's a seam in the bag. I actually make sure that is on the outside so that you don't get the pulp stuck to the seam as well. So I'm going to put that in the next container I'm going to use for the almond milk.
What a great tip. I always have it the other way, so that's good.
I am just going to tip out the leftovers in here. I wouldn't normally bother, but because I think I have a seed in one of those pitted dates, I just don't want that in the next one as well. So I'm just going to get that out of the bowl. I'm not going to bother rinsing it or anything because I'm not worried that a little bit of oat flavour will go into my almond milk. If you're worried, you can obviously clean your bowl afterwards, but I'm sure you're like me and many of us just would prefer not to have to worry about washing the bowl. So there's our oat milk. So we'll set that aside because we'll be using that again for some of the other things we're doing today. I think that will be, yep, cover and place into the fridge until you're ready to use it. So now we go straight back into our meal plan and we just go and get our almond milk recipe. There we are. And like I said earlier, for those who've just joined, I have already soaked my almonds. I actually didn't do it overnight, but I have done it for a little bit of today, which will be enough. So there's our almonds telling us to cover it with water and set aside in the fridge to soak. I did add a couple of dates in with them. That again just helped get a little bit of sweetness into the milk. I have also rinsed them under the running water. And now we're ready to add those back into the bowl. Okay, Colette. There we go. And again, I'm going to keep this bowl because I'm going to pop the pulp of the almonds back in there and use it for baking. We need some more water.
I've got a few customers who are waiting for the recording too that are busy today, so that's good that you're recording it. They're excited.
So for those who've just joined, I'd love to know if you're already making your own milks at home. If so, what ones are your favourites? What are your go-tos? Next. And while this is blending, you can pop them in the chat. So we're going to do the same thing we just did with the oat milk. This is going to now blend the almonds with the water into a milk. So as you can tell, I'm also very impatient. In the interest of time and the fact that I know that it's pretty well blended now, I'm going to stop that and show you what it looks like. You can go for the full time at your house. Just check and make sure it looks nice and blended, which you'll be able to see. I'm going to hold it over. It's quite frothy and blended in there. So the same thing, like I said, I'm using the same nut milk bag for this one. Make sure you're holding the nut milk bag on the outside of the container and then pouring that through the bag. It will start getting quite full, so you may need to, let me just see, oh, it might be all right. For the nut milk, you do need, it has a little bit more pulp, so you need to do a bit of squeezing of the bag to really help it through, or you could also let it sit there if you could make the bag stay. Sometimes I do this into a Thermomix jug, and you can actually put the bag around the top, and because it's got the lip, you can tighten the bag so it sits on the top and just drains there naturally. But you can help it along its way by just, I call it milking. I very rarely milk a cow, but I liken it to be a very similar experience. Again, I have a hole in my bag, so I think I've left some of my pulp in there, but I'm going to keep the pulp, like Nat said earlier, so that I can use it for baking. Anything that requires almond in it, I'll pop that in there instead. You can use it instead of flour. You can use it in bliss balls. It's actually quite fluffy, if you can see it. I'll get that out of the way now. Just rinse that almond milk off my hands. I need a new nut milk bag. I'm sure I have one somewhere, but not in enough close proximity for me to put my hands on it right now. So you'll notice I'm putting the lid on to pour it out because I'm so clumsy. So I'm going to pop a little bit in this jar here now. If I pour it slowly, I won't get too much of that.
Looks great. It's so nice and thick.
It is so
nice
lovely.
Texture, isn't it? Consistency.
So if you're making almond milk at the moment, by making your own, you'll be saving a significant amount of money. Those Tetra Paks, the litres, they generally have maybe 10 almonds in them. This recipe has 200 grams of almond. You don't need to use that much to get an almond milk, but it's a lovely, beautiful, creamy texture to it. So if you like that idea of the creaminess to it, then definitely make it with the full amount.
And there's a lot of not good ingredients too. If you have a look at the thing, there's like thickeners and fillers and water. Just, yeah. I haven't found a good one.
Absolutely. Now, I'm just going to use the same bowl and we're going to do our coffee for the day. I haven't washed it out. I just got rid of those bits of date that were still sitting in there. So they're still in there. Let's go out of here. We've done all those steps. That was just lining it and then keeping the pulp. It tells you all of that and putting it in the fridge. Because there are no preservatives in those milks, they won't last long in your fridge. So they'll probably last 2 to 3 days, I think it says on the recipe. Just obviously you have to take your judgment to figure out how long it will last in your house. If you're not going to get through that much, you can do one of two things. You could make less, or you could freeze what you're not going to get through. Pop it into ice cube trays and then pop them out when you're ready to use them. So that's great for cooking and things. If it ever asks for milk in your cooking, you can easily pop those cubes into your cooking. Now, the next recipe I'm going to do is actually not on Cookie Doo, but it's a really simple one that I don't always make for my husband, but when I am feeling nice and generous, I do it for him. And it is really nice and simple. I am going to use a dairy milk for this one, would you believe? What am I doing? I need my scales. Because I've only ever done it with this and I'm not sure how the other milks froth. So I thought I'll just do it with standard milk, which is what I normally use for him. We want 300 grams of standard milk. There we go. Coffee to your tasting. So you do need instant coffee for this one. I'm not a coffee drinker, so when it says to your tasting, I found this really fascinating. I've used a teaspoon and a half of his coffee, so I actually don't know what I use normally, but he never complains, so I guess that's good. And the same thing goes with sugar. Now, my hubby does like sugar, so I would give him 2 teaspoons. But again, that's completely up to your tasting. You might not have them. You could throw other sweeteners in if you choose to as well. All right, there's going to be a bit of that almond stuff in there. And then all we're going to do now is heat it up 4 minutes, 70 to 75 degrees it says, and speed 3. So we'll get that on. Go around to our 4 minutes. Oops, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do 75 and then speed 3. So that's going to do that heating over there. While it's doing that, I did get this Thermomix out as well so that I can show you another recipe that I like to do while we're cooking that one off. So my kids just walked down and mocked me. Now, one of the things I would love to show you, because my bowl is a beautiful example of just a well-used bowl. Last night we had the, I think it's called seared steak and rocket salad, and it does the high heat function. So you can see there is still a little bit of caramelization on the bottom. I could do one of two things. I could have spent more time last night doing a proper pre-clean using the high heat setting, the brown setting, and then I could have did a little bit of elbow grease to remove it. But what I do know is eventually it comes off. So unless I was doing something like a pavlova where you do need a really clean bowl, I'm not that worried about it. It's not solid food on there. I'm not going to get any sort of, tummy issues or anything from not cleaning it that well. Isn't it funny? Now this is the time where my kids walk in and stand behind the camera and ask me for the chocolate and all the sweets that are in the house. Here you go. All right, so this is a smoothie that I do every other morning of the week. I've got the kids onto it now. It is a fruit-based smoothie, so if you want to get some more veggies in, you could easily add some other veggies. But we're just going to add some banana. Nice and simple. I do add some barley grass and spirulina, so I guess I'm getting some other nutrients that way. Lots of benefits and properties. This is a really good one for your liver. Everyone can see that, can't they? Then some mango. I've only got the Coles diced mango at the moment. Yes, Lachlan. Yep, get the others to find it, please. Get Amelia to find it, please. All right, so you've got frozen mango from the frozen section in season. I've got Colette on here. She does a fabulous job getting us some beautiful, fresh, local or Australian mangoes to all share. If you've got them in season, I recommend getting them, cutting them up if you're not going to get through all of them, and freezing them. I do around 250 to 300 grams of this, or one whole mango, so whichever is best for you and your family. Next, what I need to do next, and now I just need to put some things in. So this is spirulina. You can buy this at health food shops. I actually also buy mine from Honest to Goodness. It's an online distributor in a big bag because I go through so much of it, but you can get them in smaller containers. Again, lots of health properties for spirulina, which I'm not going to go into because that's not my profession. So I do put a teaspoon of that in. I'm just going to put a little bit more because I've put 2 bananas in. We then put in some barley grass. Again, some nice gut, liver loving things. Put that in there. And this is actually what makes it a green smoothie. And then I add a little bit of zinc and vitamin C. So obviously I'd recommend, if you are going to be doing this sort of thing, getting a little bit of advice about what's okay for you to be having. But this is a fairly safe one for most people. Vitamin C we can all do with for our immune system, and the zinc is really great for a number of different things, our immune system included, as well as sleep. So we pop that in, we get some water. Yep, over here. I knew I'd run out of water, there we go. And I do put the scales on for the water because I don't want it too runny. I like it being a smoothie that I can suck through a straw. If you're happy for it to be runnier, then you don't need to worry as much. I was on minus 25 when I started weighing then, so I'm just going to keep that in mind. I want about 300 grams of water for that as well. This recipe is kind of about a cup of mango, a cup of water, and one big banana or 2 smaller bananas. But because I have to share mine, I am just adding a little bit extra into mine. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do 2 things at once. On the Thermomix where I've got the smoothie in, I'm going to blend it for a minute on speed 9. So I'll get that set up like that. And then on this Thermomix where the coffee is just stopped over here, it's in there at the moment. What we need to do now is froth it up. So I'm just going to pop it on 20 seconds at speed 8. So I'll start this one first, and then once they're both finished, I'll serve them both. Now, what I've just realised is you're not going to be able to see the frothiness of this coffee, so I need a different cup. I might just use a glass. I'll just make sure I've got a glass that's going to hold the heat. Hopefully this one. All right, so you could use one of your thermal serving jugs, something like that. It's quite nice, but I'm just going to use this cup. It's a nice thick cup, so hopefully it works. I don't have enough space for myself. Just pour it in there. And then that frothiness on the top. So there we have our Thermomix. I'm going to be able to pick it up. Yep. Our Thermomix cappuccino with froth included. It's pretty fun. Cheers for the coffee drinkers.
That looks so good. That froth looks amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet. Here we go.
And then now we've got our smoothie. So I also have a different smoothie cup, but we do have this juicy one here too. And I wanted you to be able to see the greenness of that beautiful smoothie. So, oh, actually I've got black behind it, so it's not really, oh no, you can't really see the green. Can you see the green at all? It looks quite black, doesn't it? I promise you it's green.
Just the lighting, I think. But yeah, you can see it when you get in the sun.
What if I, is that any better?
A little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yep. The sun just went on it and went green.
Yeah, I'll go really close. So it's a nice green smoothie, good for you inside and out. So that's that one. Alrighty, in the bowl. So now I'm going to go on, I think I mentioned I don't actually drink coffee. So when I'm looking for something warm, I look for the turmeric latte. Sometimes it's called a golden latte. So we're going to make that today. And it actually makes its own paste. Really simple. For those who buy it in the shops, you pay extra to have turmeric lattes compared to a regular coffee because of the paste or the whatever they're using. And often they're using a powder. So this has got beautiful, fresh nutrients in it. They're going to be really great for you, and also save you some money as well. So why am I missing it? There we go, turmeric latte. So like I said, this is going to make our paste to start, and then you'll keep that paste aside in the fridge or the freezer even, and then take out your scoops when you need them. So first of all, we're going to start with our turmeric. Now, tips with turmeric: if you can get it on special, or you get it when it's available, because it's not always available, get a bit extra and pop it in the freezer so you've always got it there for whenever you want to make it. I've just got mine out of the freezer and chopped it up. I'm not bothering peeling it. This was actually organic turmeric from a friend who'd grown it, and they were all small little buds, and I was not going to sit there and peel. The peel will get blended into the paste anyway, and I'm okay with that. So pop that in. Next, we're going to pop our ginger in. Same thing with ginger. If you buy a knob of ginger and you're not going to get through it all, don't let it go to waste. Slice it up. I sometimes slice, I sometimes chop it into like cubes and get it into your freezer, and then you've got it there whenever you need it. You can throw it in frozen straight into like your curries and things like that, your laksa, when you're making those sorts of things. It's nice and handy to have and not be having to go to the shops all the time, because generally once you've made one of those things once, you've usually got the soy and the other ingredients that go into it in the cupboard or the fridge. And then it's only a matter of getting some ginger, maybe some chili, which you could also be keeping in the freezer. And then obviously your protein and your veggie component as well. So it's much easier if you've got it there, ready to go. Our coconut oil. Funny story, I needed a spoon. 60 grams of that in there. A bit more. Get that off the spoon. There we go. Next, the ground pepper. Now, again, I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian. Colette will probably know a bit more about this than I do. But when you're having turmeric, having a pepper with it will actually make some of the properties more absorbable. So definitely leave that in there to your liking. Put the lid on. We are going to chop it all up. just remembered my spatulas have gone walkabout in my house. So I think the kids had a project and they were using them as pretending they were jousting sticks. Yeah, we're going to scrape all that down. So like I said, wow, that light's terrible in here. Let me just turn on. That might help a little bit. How's that? Still a bit dark.
You need one of those ring light things on the other side.
Yeah. I do have a ring light. All right, so that's in there. Let me get that off. Someone's dinging away in my lounge room. Next, pop the lid back on again.
Do you have the light in the kitchen you could turn on, maybe?
Turn it on.
Oh, is it on? Just because the sun's behind you, maybe just what it is.
Oh, hang on, what have I done? Oh, I've got to, whoops, chop it up again. Next, scrape the sides down again. So I've just made it into a really crumbly texture, and it's mostly crumbly because I used frozen stuff as well. Yours will probably be a bit more pasty than mine is right now. There we go. I've got to get it. Maybe if I hold it. Anyway, I'll fix that in a second. Now we need to add just a touch of water. It's saying 2 tablespoons. It's just because you do want it to be a paste. So come on, water. 1, 2. That lid on there. Next, leave the measuring cup off. And that's going to cook off for 5 minutes now. While that's happening, I'm just going to get this out of here. So that's how much that smoothie made, that whole jar, and then this amount as well. I'm going to quickly rinse this out, and I'm going to bring my ring light over and see if I can make that work for us. So that's that same bowl that I was using before that you could see the dirty marks on. And I can already tell when I wipe the bottom of it with a tea towel, it's all but gone. And that's just after making one smoothie. So like I said, try not to stress too much when your bowl gets a little bit messy or silly. Let me just get this ring light. Still, is that better? Yeah, okay. There's our green.
Yeah, much better. What'd you do?
I'll put the ring light in.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Yeah, it looks green now.
Excellent. That's all that. So that's that one lot of green smoothie. So like I said, you could go back down.
Much better.
Excellent. Cup of water, cup of mango, a banana, and those few little items that I shared. Okay, while that's cooking the paste off, let's get on to our favourite part of the day, the cocktail hour. I go between this one and the Moscow Mule. So I'd love you to share in the chat what your favourite Thermomix cocktail is. Let's get this one up. This one is the mojito style cocktail. All right, ice cubes. Have those today. Cosmopolitan. I haven't done Cosmo anything.
So good, and it's so easy because it's just the cranberry, vodka, lime, ice, and it makes the whole, like a whole mixing bowl worth. It's really good for parties because You just can make a couple of batches and I fill up a big jug. So quick too. And you've got enough like to do a couple of rounds of everyone. So it's really good. But, yeah, I love that
The
one.
gin and cucumber cooler is also pretty
Oh, yum.
forgiving.
Yeah.
But lots.
Delicious. All right, so I'm going to just chop that ice up, so it's going to be, won't be able to talk for a second. I'm just going to do that one more time. Give me 1 second. This is one of my favourite things to do with the Thermomix, this step. That's better. There were just some cubes in there. So again, you've got total control over how you like things chopped up. It's all like a snow cone. So for those who've seen me do this one before, or something like this one before, this is great if you've got kids who love those snow cones you get at markets and things. You could do just the ice, not the alcohol part, and then add your own flavouring to it yourself, and you save not only the money, but also you can control what goes in, how much sugar, all those sorts of things. So, did I mention I'm a messy cook? It's going all over my bench. Anyhow, there we go. Ice out. Thoroughly dry mixing bowl. Oh. That's one of those words I don't like, remember? All right, hang on. Let's just do that. Now, the reason you want a dry mixing bowl is because you're about to mill some sugar down to icing sugar. And so it doesn't want it to be wet. Give me 1 second. It's finished. Who's cooking? I just heard someone noise.
That me the whole time. Sorry, I forgot to mute my.
Oh, what are you cooking, Colette?
Oh, what have I been doing? There's a banana bread in the oven. There was, what else we made? Made dumplings. Now I've got bao buns going in. Made something else. Oh,
Which
yes.
recipe do
crackers.
you use for bao buns, Colette?
Sorry?
Which recipe do you use for your bao buns?
Oh, I've just used the base Chinese dumpling bao buns on cookie dough because I'm using leftover from the. I'm pretty much doing my own thing here, just to use up what I've got.
Yeah, I always do that. It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
I have to make them again.
Tonight with sushi.
Yeah, what?
I'm having gyoza tonight with sushi.
Here we go.
Oh, yum.
I love dumplings. I did them recently. They were so good. So easy.
What I did last
Yeah.
I made a big batch. I did a double batch. And then I froze the majority that we didn't eat. And now I'm going to bring them out tonight, steam them just to defrost, and then put them in the pan to well. All right.
Well, you probably, I'm not sure whether you know, but last year during lockdown, we did a bit of a family activity. We did a cook-off, and we made, well, boys against girls. Layla and I used the Thermomix for all our variations, and the boys used all other techniques. And then we had a judging panel of the four of us.
Oh, how fun.
And we pretty much ate for 4 hours straight. We made upwards of 160, and that cost us around the $20 mark.
Yeah, wow. How fun.
I can put up the photos.
I'd love you to.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to see it. Share that, and the money saving is huge. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what I've just done is I've taken the paste out. So this is the paste. Now, it will only last in the fridge, again, not very long. I think it says transfer into a...
I made that too.
Yeah. Allow it to cool for 10 minutes and then pop it into the fridge until ready to use. We'll just leave it out for a minute. And we're going to start straight away. So, what will I make it on today? I think I'll do oat milk today. So we now need 500 grams of our oat milk or any type of milk that you want to have. You could do a combination. If you don't love the flavour of just one type of milk, try combining a couple together. That would be my biggest tip. Next. And then 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Yeah, almond and cashew's nice together.
Yeah, right. You'll notice, look at me go. I have decided to no longer worry about measuring for most things.
Look at you letting loose.
1 to 2 teaspoons of this stuff. So I'm just going to go. There already is some in the bowl, so I reckon that'll do because I didn't wash the bowl out, as you know. Next, pop that lid on with the measuring cup this time, and that is going to warm up there. Let me just get rid of that. And go back over here because now I know this. I'm sorry, I'm jumping about a bit. Now we need to pop our lime in. So for those who haven't done this before, it does ask for the zest of 1 lime. What I've done, I've already zested it, so you can see it's already done here. You want to make sure there's not a lot of white pith underneath, so that's just the skin, not the big fleshy white bit. What I recommend, whenever you buy lime, you often just need to juice them, is take the zest off some and pop them in your freezer. I have, just in a little Ziploc bag, when I got a whole bunch of limes recently, I just did that, and then I squeezed all the lime juice out and I stored that in the freezer as well. We've got through that, but I haven't got through the zest yet. Now you want some sugar. Where is my sugar? No. Here it is. Oh dear. We want, what, 80 to 100 grams. So again, this is to your taste. I found when I made this last time that I think I did over 100 grams, and I think it was too sweet for my liking. I don't really like a lot of sugar. So I'm just going to do the 80. You have complete control at this point. So whatever you prefer, you can do. I've already added the lime zest. Then we want to put our dry lid on. Just give me 1 second. I haven't dried that off. Again, because you're going to be milling, you want the dryness. Last time I did this, I didn't bother drying, and it just was a bit stuck together. Alrighty. Scrape the sides of the bowl. So you should now have effectively icing sugar with lime through it, which is what I have there. Okay, next, cut all limes into 8s. Oops, I haven't done that. So give me 1 second. I only have 4 limes today. I think you're supposed to have 6. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of lime juice in as well, just to help it. Oops. Now, we don't often have this juice, but it is what we have currently, so I'll just put a bit extra in for flavour. Squeeze the lime juice from the segments into the mixing bowl and add 8 of the flesh segment. That's right, I'm not supposed to put all of them in. So I'm just going to squeeze some of these other ones. I need to follow the recipe, don't I? So you don't want all the flesh in, although you could, it would just add more texture to your drink. There you go. That. Me making a mess. Next, Discard the segments, insert the measuring cup. Oh, I just remembered something.
What's wrong?
This is the one that doesn't actually ask you to put the mint in.
Ah,
Add half the mint.
Anna,
oh, yum. I want some.
I'm gonna have them now.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Just eat in front of me. Yum. Look awesome.
Okay. Yeah, so I remember from last time, this recipe doesn't ask you to put the mint in until you're decorating at the top. But in my opinion, a mojito has that lovely, delicious minty flavour. So
Yeah.
added
The
half,
mule, I know that mule one does get you to put the mint in.
yeah, okay. Well, I've just added half the mint in. I'm just going to pull out that bit there. Next, the rum, Bacardi. The white rum you want for this one. There you go. Oops. Next, our soda water. We have a soda stream, so I find that really simple for making this type of thing.
Need to get one of those.
Yeah, it's just means you've got it all on hand. That's a bit over.
Yeah.
Next, the ice back in again. Next, down. All right. So let me first of all, next, keep measuring cup inserted. So over here with our turmeric latte, I'm just going to froth it up. All right, so there we have our mojitos. It makes 6, so there's still plenty left in the jug. I'll keep that for my hubby for when he gets home. And over here we have our turmeric latte. So again, you divide this between the mugs. This probably makes more than one serve, so like so. There's our beautiful golden turmeric latte. And there you have it. That's a day of drinks. So we probably started with our coffee. To make ourselves feel better, we also had our smoothie. For those who don't drink coffee, had their turmeric latte. Oh, we made our milks to go in those as well. And then, of course, we finished off with our mojitos. How good's that? Thank you for joining me for a day full of drinks. I think I've finished everything. Yep, I'm pretty sure I have. Oh, and of course we've got this paste here. This delicious paste now that'll go in the fridge, and I'll continue to have more turmeric lattes through the week. So I've got
That's
that.
awesome, Han. So much goodness.
Yeah.
So quick.
So many yummy things. So What else can you do with your Thermomix? Make sure you're thinking about things that don't just include main meals because there is so much to offer more than baking and main meals and all those sorts of things. All right, well, if you're like me and juggling children at home and all the rest, please reach out to your consultant if you'd like some support with your Thermomix in that time. We'll probably be doing lots more things. I know we've got a session next week which is going to be main meals, so it is One Pot Wonders on Wednesday night. Oh, that's a bit of an alliteration. We've got lots of yummy things coming your way, so please, if you do need some support with your Thermomix, reach out. We're here to help. For those consultants who are on, welcome. I hope you're enjoying what we've done today, and I look forward to seeing some of you soon. All right.
Well done, Hannah. Have a
Thank you,
good
Hannah.
afternoon.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Stop recording.